What's up, Worship Warriors, and welcome back. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Um, Today, we're launching Reflections, right? And we're talking about a topic that I've been wanting to discuss for quite some time now, y'all. Narcissistic personalities and relationships with narcissists. That's right, because all is fair in love and war. But is it? This word narcissist has been floating around the information or internet highways for quite some time all over social medias, platforms, and many people have used this particular word to describe an ex, a sibling, parent, anyone who they encounter, right? Mostly an ex. So let's keep it real. But these people are not qualified to determine the traits of a narcissist. So let's do this. Let's go to someone who is. And I would love to introduce you guys to a channel called Dr. Ramani, to where she is a physician who has diagnosed and studied narcissistic personalities for quite some time. And she's going to help us out with some of the things and traits that we should be looking for, because all is fair in love and war. But is it? Without further ado, come on, man. Bring this in, Denzel, man. We're going to cue this thing up. Let's get into this video, y'all.
Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf violent? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on Narcissism. We're going to do a proverb. It's been a long time since we've done one, and today's proverb is, all's fair in love and war. Okay, so let's reflect on this one. All's fair in love and war. Is it? This proverb has its origins, I think, in a poem from the 1500s, so it's been around a while. Actually kind of excuses bad behavior in romantic relationships. And narcissistic folks, oh boy, do they ever run with the ball of this old proverby wisdom. When something like this proverb that is so embedded in our thinking about love and war is in line with other stupid sayings like love makes people crazy, so then they do stupid things and make the crazy as a defense. No! That all of these kinds of proverbs and things like that can leave people feeling like these relationships are the wild, wild west, so everything is permissible in these relationships because it's love. Well, let me tell you this. Narcissistic people are notoriously unfair in relationships. They cheat, they lie, they often do a bait and switch, they manipulate, they blame you for things that you are not responsible for. So, these relationships, by definition, are not fair. The love bombing can make these
Now, listen, I got a brother who's a complete and total narcissist. Man, I'm talking real bad. I totally had to separate myself and cut him off indefinitely because of his behavior of being a narcissist. He's that way with anyone he comes in contact with. He's just toxic. Loves drama, loves conflict, doesn't understand when people are truly in his corner, and if he does understand it, he takes it as an opportunity or a sign of weakness to be able to manipulate the situation to make it bad. This particular brother, so-called brother, disowned now, he would always do the bait and switch tactics, saying that I'm some sort of way. Like this brother, he lied to the police, or had, sent his woman or whatever, and she's, whatever, out to lie to police He lied to police officers and said that I was this type of person who's going to cause some sort of harm to him, who's going to try to track him, who's going to try to do all these other crazy things that I have no characteristics of doing. Totally crazy things. And this is what he said. And which got me in quite a bit of trouble with them. Right. And to where now I have to prove that no, that's not who I am. This is somebody who's making accusations that are false. Right. So the thing is that he was lying about it. For what reason? I've never understood why. Why would you want to have? Why would you want to do that to your own family, your own brother? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to lie on him? But this is classic bait and switch, just to make himself look better, put himself in a certain position, put himself in a certain limelight. I'm not too sure as to what. Never did anything wrong to this guy. Never did anything to cross him. Always was trying to look out for him in his best interest. Things like that. And these are some of the things that he do. But blaming and blame shifting is a constant thing. I mean, the same brother who pulled a gun on me, right? Who pulled out a gun, and I'm gonna, in reflections in the series, I'm gonna go deeper into to the details of how all these things took place. But pulled a gun and said it was my fault because I was dating a certain woman at the time. This is the reason why he did it to me. Is because he thought he wanted to scare me to, I guess, leave or get out the way. Which, you're not scaring me, bro. You understand what I'm saying? How I'm trying to find a peaceful resolution as to how we can move on peacefully. And the first thing he does is threaten me physically. I'm not a coward. If you threaten me physically, you're gonna be met with violence because we're gonna go ahead and match that energy. But to escalate it and go grab a gun that's fully loaded and point it into your own brother's face, and you're not proficient in firearms, you don't understand how they work, and it has no safety on it, completely unregulated. It can go off at any time. And this is a true story, y'all. I'm just glad and lucky to be alive. I've survived a major narcissist, that's in within my family, demonically possessed. I'll be completely and totally honest with you. And I'm surviving it, right? I've survived through these things that could have possibly and potentially cost me my life. Same thing, another sibling, my sister, she got into the same confrontation. Seemed like she was supporting him, even though it was on the back of lies, because he said that I moved down with him, right? I'm gonna give a little bit of tidbit. I moved down here from Michigan. Not only did I pay him $1,000 to be at his house once I got here, I paid him $1,000 to be there. And I mowed his lawn every week, right? The lawn that he didn't have at first. Once I got here, I bought all the lawn equipment, right? Because I had I believe $10,000, in which he gave me to help with the company. Got into the company, was doing my work, doing my thing, completed 25 clients that I never got paid for from this guy, right? And he completely cut me out of the business. So I'm using this particular cash to be able to live off of, buy my food, buy my clothing, my necessities, things like that. And also buying things for that home, not only lawn equipment, but also other necessities too, right? I'm fixing things around the house. I'm taking care of everything, okay? And later to find out that he only gave me this cash because he's giving it to other people, and it's just his ego was in the way. His ego is something. This is the same guy who took a flight all the way to his hometown just to stunt, just to show off, things like that. And a company that I helped build, that my mother helped build, that the family helped build, in which he cut us all out of, right? And once he was able to start making and earning income, he cut us out of it. And next thing you know, we got to figure out life. Go figure, right? But it's all right because I'm a survivor and I bounce back quick. I always do and always have and always will. Either way, he found reasons to make it my fault. And I come later to find out the woman that he was dating at that time that separated from him. I spoke to her. I helped her with her taxes. Shout out, Big Saki. Listen, she told me, she's like, he told me so much bad things about you before I even met you. And then once I met you, I'm like, man, he ain't really that bad, like at all. And I'm like, wow, this is my first time hearing that my own so-called brother is speaking poorly to other people behind my back, and is unwanted, is unmerited, never done anything to the man. And once they've met me, I don't exhibit that person. I don't have that character. And it took him to want to drive to make me out to be that person. So everything he possibly could do in his power to sabotage my life, he did what he could to make what he's saying the truth, and make himself not be a liar to people who's actually met me and known that I was not a bad person. You know what I'm saying? That I'm actually a pretty decent guy. I've lost friendships. I've lost long lasting friendships and relationships because of him and what he's done to burn other people. And then now they're like, oh, since I'm related to him, that I'm the problem too, that they can't deal with me because of who I'm related to. And I'm like, I'm totally not this guy. You deal with him, deal with me is night and day differences. But that's the deal, right? This is narcissist, and he completely holds himself unaccountable for any wrongdoings. This is the same man who allowed his mother to be verbally abused by a woman that he was with, baby mama or whoever it is, verbally abused and mistreated, right? Let that woman, let whatever woman he was with put their hands on his own mother, take her stuff and throw it over a balcony all over the floor, stole her belongings, right? Wrecked her car and didn't even apologize. Just said, well, at least I'm okay. This is the same man who's continuously put his own mother out the house, right? And treated her like absolute trash because she wanted to maintain a relationship with her other two children, not just him. Narcissistic. These are some of the things that are the worst forms of it, though, because it goes unchecked. And honestly, it takes a family to band together and have an intervention to be able to stop something like this, if they're brave enough and not cowards. But I know I went into a whole tangent here. We're going to get back to the doc. Let's get it.
Relationships feel like passionate love affairs, and it's easy to fall into the morass of all's fair in love because the entire thing feels like a massive roller coaster. It really is amazing how many of these proverbs are really just enabling and excuse narcissistic behavior. It almost seems like it's 50-50. Now, war is a different story, right? By definition, war often is not fair, but even so, there are many things that can happen in a way that really aren't fair, right? Like attacking and harming civilians. And since most people who love war are narcissistic, you can pretty much bet that war obviously isn't fair either. But so why is it? Why is it so difficult for narcissistic people to play fair? Forget love and war. Even in day-to-day life, they can't. And their entitlement is a part of it. Rules are a headache for them. And it really frustrates them when they have to follow rules. Antagonistic people are oppositional, so rules don't work for them, and they cannot play fair. They cheat at everything. Taxes, work, business, relationships, whatever matters to them. But unfortunately, this mentality that if something matters and there's strong emotion involved, then the passion means that sometimes it's not fair. Love and war, right? I have talked with many survivors of narcissistic abuse who, in the anger and rage and frustration, and above all the injustice, will say to the narcissist about whatever happened, it's not fair. And in all cases, they said that the narcissistic person fired back with, life's not fair. I could almost buy that as an answer, except for the fact that the narcissists out there have a hypocrisy about fairness. They expect it for themselves, but do not feel that it should be granted to anyone else, or that they don't deserve it. So back to the alls.
And same thing here, right? Had a conversation with this guy, my so-called brother, and having a conversation about keeping women out of family business that don't need to have nothing to do with family business. And this is a conversation he brings to me, in which I already know. He's the one who has the problem with this particular situation, with this keeping women out of family business. This is the reason why he's coming to me with this conversation, right? And I'm like, yeah, I totally agree. And what do I do? Proceed to do exactly what I say I was going to do. Keeping the woman out of my family business. What does he do? He tells the woman that he's with all of the family business so that she knows everything. In fact, he tells the woman that he's with all the family business so much, and then he's telling truth mixed with lies, that this woman is developing a callous around her heart towards the family members, and we've never done anything to her. And we find out about it, check him about him talking about family business, and his defense is, well, basically it didn't apply to him. It only applied to me, right? Before he cut me out of this business, I told him I wanted accountability one unto another. He told me that I had to come to him and be accountable to him, and he didn't have anyone to be accountable to. That's a God complex, of course. Narcissistic complex, of course. But as partners in this business, whether it be 50-50 or whatever, accountability goes on to everyone in the business, right? But let's go ahead and continue on. Let's get it. This is just more things that you have to identify. Are you dealing with the same things? And if you are, cut the tether. Cut that person off. Let them go. Do not continue on, because it can cost you your life. I promise you it can cost you your life. But let's keep it going, man. Let's get it.
Fair in love bit. They may use that as a defense for their behavior, but for any reason you were unfair to them in love, forget about it. With the vindictiveness that would follow, let me tell you, it would feel like war. And once again, all's fair in war to them probably as well. All's not fair in love. It just isn't. It's not fair to invalidate someone or cheat on someone or lie to someone or silence someone's spirit or gaslight them or future fake them or minimize them. It's not. But according to this proverb, if all's fair in love, then that sort of feels like a sign off on this behavior. Again, we too often view the passion and the emotion and the fervor of love as a place where rules don't apply, but they actually do. Healthy, well-regulated people behave fairly in love, no matter how passionate it is. The fates and the vagaries of life, a storm that can wipe away a house, an illness that takes a young person's life, wealth inequality, a person being born to a narcissistic parent. All of those are pretty damn good examples of life being unfair. But a person who chooses not to regulate themselves and who is entitled and arrogant and narcissistically abusing someone, to me, that doesn't fall under what's all's fair in love. That falls under emotional abuse. It's a choice, and it's not just unfair, it's wrong. We give too much of a free pass to the behavior that happens within a close relationship. The idea that all relationships are oh so different and we can't really know what's happening in a relationship because we aren't in it, and there are so many different kinds of relationships. I'm not buying that nonsense. There is a healthy way a relationship can be, and there is an unhealthy way. So no, all is not fair in love. And this proverb has been misused so many times for people who will say, oh, golly, poor her, her relationship ended, all's fair in love and war, I guess. No, it's not. Healthy people have healthy rules, communication, boundaries, respect, mutuality, and compassion in their relationships. That's all being fair in love. Anything different than that? Not so much. Thanks again.